Welcome to Witch Hunt. Today on the trial of Storm, we will be discussing how she uses auras. And I'm really excited for this. So Storm and I are friends and we're both running late today. So I'm really glad that it wasn't with someone that I've never met before. So yes, forgive me for being late, but thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah. So, for the people that don't know you, that aren't in your business all the time, like me, why don't you introduce yourself and just tell us, if you have any labels? Do you call yourself a witch? Are you a green witch? Are you, yeah.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. My name is Stormy. I do go by the Oracle Witch. I recognize more kind of, even though I come from a very traditional type family of witches, I am a little more modern in a lot of ways, and I like to play with the elements. So I tend to deal with more nature-based items or things or craft. So that's kind of my group right there, is being as natural and into the earth as I can be. I wouldn't say green witch, but I'm close to it. But I kill plants. Plants don't like me.
Okay.
But animals do.
No. So what does your path? Your cup is super cute. I like that.
Oh, thank you. Don't you have one similar, don't you?
Oh yeah, I have a little cauldron somewhere that has like a moon on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us what you kind of center on. What type of, do you work with crystals a lot? Do you do a little bit of everything? Yeah, well, tell us what magic looks like for you.
Well, I like a lot of candle workings. I feel like candle magic is honestly the best to begin with, but also the best to stick with. It's just such a easy way for people to understand, okay, this is what my intention is with candle magic. So I do tend to like that. I do tend to stick that way with those. I love body, anything that can come naturally from the body, or be natural for the body. I feel like a lot of magic is just our intentions, is just what we feed ourselves. So for example, if I'm going to use a product that I put on myself, I want it to come from someone I know is magical or from a natural type base. So I love that aspect. I love talking about that too when I have the opportunity. But I wanted to come here today to talk about how I read auras, and how I interpret them, and how I use different parts of what I know that I'm able to do, not just focusing on my sight. So not really sure how to get into that.
But no, go ahead. No, I'm just like, because I'm so interested.
Sorry.
Because I don't no, I don't read auras, and so yeah, I'm just like,
well, you might after this.
I'm like, please tell me more. I'm very interested. So no, the floor is yours. So tell us, for someone that might not know, tell us what auras, what this is, and then how you do it. Yeah.
So generally when you hear people talking about your aura right now is giving this off and that off, aura to me is about your vibe. It's not always going to be something someone sees. An aura can be something that someone feels also. Like if you've ever walked into a room and maybe knew a couple people, maybe didn't, but you walked into a room and you just instantly like felt, oh, there's a lot of tension in this room, or this room is extremely like joyful, I'm happy to be here. That is you naturally, instinctively already feeling the different auras that are in the room that for the present time blending together. So you're feeling the vibe of the room. That's always the best way to begin, is just feeling it out. When I first started, it was the same way. What I would do, I was a teenager. I think I was about 15 when I really started to play with it, because I was like, I'm starting to see these hazes. these clouds coming over people, but I'm like, is that normal? What is this? You know, and back in early 2000, 2014, there was, or yeah, 2000, 2004, not 2014, 2004. I'm gonna date myself. There wasn't a lot of this social media or ways to communicate, you know, what something could be. You know, now there's so many different venues and groups and ways to connect, like you and I. I'm way out here in Florida, but I now know I have a family member in South Dakota. We have that now. We didn't have that then. So I would just play with it, honestly. And I personally went through a lot of trauma as a child. So I also built up a natural shield, which I think is super important. Super important, no matter what level you are, building up a natural shield. So if I don't want to read a room, I will not read a room. I will shut it down. I will say, nope, I got to reserve this energy. But going back to 2004, I told some friends, a couple of close friends, not many, about what I could do. And of course, to them, it was a game. It was a game to them, you know, about auras and, oh, you doing, you know, you can't do this, whatever. And then one friend did believe me. And she was like, hey, I want you to come to my family Thanksgiving. All right, like, let's, all right, I'm a teenager. Not really something that our family did a lot, but I was like, cool, I'll go. And I went, I sat there, and I literally called out every relative, like, to her, telling her, well, this is what I'm reading, this is what I've seen. And how I did that was I sat there quietly and I observed everybody. Now, people will talk about, and Panda, I'm sure you've heard about this a lot too, but you will hear people talk about mentalists, and illusionists, where people can just really read body language really well. And yes, yeah, but they don't realize that's also them using their intuition. They're not just reading the body language, they're reading auras, they're reading vibes off of people. Like, you know, I could cross my arms right now. It doesn't mean I'm closed off. Maybe it just means my back is hurting. You know, I need to sit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And some people would
sorry,
immediately
y'all.
say like, oh, you're closed off. And like, no, my boobs are too
No.
big, so my back
Yeah,
hurts.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't. So I did. So I sat there, I kind of watched everybody, and I told her, and I just, like I said, it started out as the haze, but then I would get these images. I would get these memories in my mind's eye, and I'm like, these memories are not mine. This is not my memory. I know it's not, but I'm seeing it through their eyes, and I'm feeling what they're feeling, and it's just a split second. It's like a movie trailer, and I would dissect it, and then I would sit there and I would tell her, say, okay, this is what I pulled off of your aunt, and I said some crazy shit, or my friend could have been like, no girl, bye, like, no girl, but she was like, wow. You know, and still to this day, she'll tell people about it, or, you know, tell people about what I did. And from there, that day really solidified, like, okay, it's not cut in stone. There's different ways that this can work for everyone. So for example, that day when I was there, I wasn't just reading auras. I wasn't trying to see just colors. I was opening up my clairvoyant abilities, my empathic abilities. I was incorporating all parts of me that were given to me magically. Think about like your hand. You know, you have 5 fingers. All these fingers are very, very different in their own way, and that's how our gifts are. You have 1 gift, 2 gifts, 3 gifts, 4 gifts, 5, but they all come together to complete you, to make that. So that's how I view it. If you want to fully align yourself and be able to be like, I can do this, I can read auras, I can read bones, I can scry. You have to understand that all of your gifts need to come together. All of that needs to come together to elevate what you're already doing. I have asked other people, and I'm sure you've had them done before. People will do aura readings often. And I don't tell you, hey, you have a purple here, you have a green here, you have a this here. I don't just tell you that. I'm going to tell you exactly what my other abilities are pulling from that. You know, for like, and auras going, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off top. I'm going a little bit left and right here. I'm sorry, Panda, if I'm a little off, just tell me.
We'll go with you. Let's go.
Okay. So With an aura though, if you're straight just trying to look for colors or trying to see different shades, there are a lot of different practices. For example, there is a really good white wall behind me. Anyone watching this video, go ahead, try to go ahead and read mine, focus on it. Some people do really well focusing their eyes, and other people do well with their peripheral vision or unfocusing. But the white wall is a good way to practice. But just going into a public place, sitting like at a park, COVID safe, but sitting at a park or whatever, start just watching people and see what you can pull from them. Being outside when it's like a sunny day, or even a rainy day, actually a rainy and foggy day is bomb for it because everything's naturally kind of like a white. But just watch strangers, just watch them, and see what naturally starts to come up for you. Because some people that you meet are going to be much easier to see their auras or to feel their vibes, and other people are going to be much harder because of their shields, because of their level of defense that they have. Some people are very open-hearted, very open-minded. I'm not mind, but like open, like very, welcoming, but they don't have much of a shield. And those people can be, that would be the easiest person to practice on if you know someone like that or come across them in public. But that's really a fun way to do it, especially if you go with a friend and you don't know anybody else there. That's a really fun way to practice and to learn that. But going to the colors, and you will hear people talk about levels and different levels. And then how do I explain it? You're going to see different shapes, kind of. So for example, closest to your body. So I'm going to pull this aside. Closest to your body, right here on your shoulder. Usually that's where it begins for people, or it does in the crown area. And you will see like, it'll start as, I like to say like a fog coming off would be like one color, or it'd be like a very light shade. And then you'll start to see maybe you'll see a music note, or maybe you'll hear music at the same time, or maybe a flash of something will happen at the same time, or an emotion will hit you. So for example, let's say you see red right away. You see red on me, and you get this sudden moment of giddiness. So you feel giddy. That red is telling you, okay, maybe she has accomplished something recently that was a passion, and she's very happy about it. That's what that would tell me if I saw that on someone. But let's say you see the red, but you get a very resentful feeling, a really angry feeling. That red's going to mean something else. It's going to mean a different spectrum of passion, because passion can go both ways. So you're seeing a different perspective of it. Then let's say after that red, you see like a silver, but the silver kind of has spikes on it. That is a different texture. So that texture is telling you that something's wrong with that silver. That spikiness is an attack mode, is a pushing out, is I'm attacking out because I'm feeling defensive. I'm feeling like I need to. That silver, you then go into, okay, what would this silver mean for this situation? Once again, use your empath ability to pull that emotion. What is that silver telling me? A lot of the times though, people beginning, it's really good just to start with somebody's main aura. If you really want to see it, if you want to try to see it, if you want to be able to grow that ability and tell people this is the color that I see, you have to start working on that, seeing those levels. And then learning, what does this color symbolize? Just like in candle magic, like I mentioned, color magic. It's what it is. It's colors. It's if you have a white candle, if you have a yellow candle, you have a black candle, you have a green candle, they all symbolize something. I mean, not just one thing either, but they symbolize kind of their umbrella of intentions or emotions. And the same thing with auras. The same thing. Sometimes a red can be a very, very good color. Sometimes it cannot be.
That's so crazy. Like, So like I just said at the beginning of this that I
Mhm.
don't read auras, but then after listening to you talk, like I've definitely walked into a room and been like, it is heavy as fuck
Yeah.
in here. Like, or you know what I mean? Or there's definitely people, this is so funny because I don't see the colors. Again, I'm not
Mhm.
practiced and it's not something I do, but there's people in my life that I call sunshine people that like no
Mhm.
matter what they're doing or creating or whatever, when I get around those people, they're so nourishing and positive and like
Yeah.
energizing. They feel like sunshine. They just
Yeah.
feel, you know what I mean? And then there's other people that I've met in my life. Like I can always tell when someone is someone that you don't want to be around.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like, that person will probably murder you if you get caught
Hmm.
alone with them in an alley. Like people that I've walked by, literally
True.
just walked by in public in a crowded street that have like
Mhm.
made my hair stand on end that I'm just like, holy shit, I think I just like cross paths with
Yeah.
like a serial killer. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like, so that's crazy. So that's, I mean, that's another form of reading people, like not
Yeah,
just,
absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. Naturally. I would do the same thing, as a teenager. I would tell my friends, like, I don't like this person. No. Or my mom married this guy and I was like, I don't like this person at all. And I always knew. And now my mom picks on me now, Bree picks on me. She's like, really, Storm, can you STF you? Like, stop. Stop telling me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I once met a guy that just like made my hair stand on end
Yeah.
and everyone really liked him. And a few years later, he murdered somebody.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah,
Wow. I haven't had the vindication yet, which I do not want the vindication on. But I went to a dinner a couple of weeks ago, and it was a dinner that I wasn't really I wanted to go because I love my friend. But I was nervous about seeing the other people because they're past friendships that aren't very, they're toxic. So I let them go. So I was nervous about that. But I go to the dinner and I end up sitting next to a man that I've never met, that is with somebody I used to know that's part of this group still. And we have the dinner and I'm just really uncomfortable. And I eventually move seats because I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable right now. And there is a child with us at the party. It's most of us adults, but there's one child. And I'm just really uncomfortable. But I instantly move next to the child, the kid. She's like 12, but I moved next to the kid. And then a couple days after, me and my friend who I went there for, I'm talking to her and she basically spills all this stuff to me. And I'm like, that's what I was feeling. Like, that's why I instantly did this, why I went this way. Like, I'm not always on, but I am always on. You know what I mean? Like, even though I was trying to block everything out because I didn't want to feel them, I didn't want to sense anything because I was so close proximity, I couldn't control it. And I instantly knew why I did not want to be next to this person, be near them. So I totally, absolutely. Sometimes it just as natural as that.
so
As
you
us.
guys,
Yeah.
even if you guys don't consider yourselves an aura reader, you need to be listening to your intuition. You need to be
Yes.
trusting yourself because that ability and that everybody has it, whether it's awake or not, it happens for you, trust it and keep
Yes.
yourself safe. And then also with boundaries, energetically, whether it's magic or mundane, your energy boundaries and protecting yourself is also,
Mhm.
so that you're not soaking up everyone else's emotions and it's not
Absolutely.
draining you, whether you have, energy vampires at work that you're doing your work and their work, or you have,
Mhm.
toxic people in your family. Just, yeah, boundaries for energy are in life period are super, super important. So protect
Yeah.
yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um,
Do you have any like books, content creators, websites, blogs, any learning resources for auras that you would
I
recommend?
I am a huge fan, and it's kind of funny because we have the same last name. I'm a huge fan of Devin Hunter, who I believe is either the forward by or the author of The Psychic Witch, which was one of the most amazing books. Like, I thought I hit maybe my peak. I was like, okay, I thought maybe this was it for me. And then I literally read The Psychic Witch and I was like, whoa. Like, and then I did the practices within the book. So I'm a huge fan of that one. That one right there will really connect you with yourself and dealing with, your childhood and it helped, like the practices will really help you maybe pull. For example, I knew when I was a kid when I did something that wasn't natural, when I had a dream that was a precognition dream, I knew it right away. But not most people don't know. Most people think they just have really vivid dreams or they have deja vu. So there's a lot of good practices that you go, oh my God, that happened when I was a kid. I knew that.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was just like a dream I had or maybe a memory. Like, no, that was something happening. That was already you connecting, you know. Especially in trauma heavy years, especially as a young person with trauma heavy years, that's really when they start to come out. And you're like, I'm crazy, I gotta be crazy. No, you are not. I will tell you right now, you are not. If you are 15, 16 years old watching this right now, or even 12 years old, if a kid watches this, just so you know, speak up, find somebody that will listen to you. I thankfully did have my mom who listened to me, even though at the time we weren't active practitioners. She heard me at 7 years old telling her that I'd had these dreams. She listened to me. So if you can find somebody like that, whether it's in your family member, a friend, or somebody online, safely within your age range, but find somebody that you can talk to and you can share this with, because you are feeling other people's emotions. You are seeing things that are happening, that are going to happen. You know, you could even have one that's of 890 AD because you dream about somebody's past life or your own past life. It is not all fairy tales and nightmares. It's very real in a very practical way when you start to actually analyze it and think about what happens to you chemically and through your mind, and as you grow, as your third eye grows.
Yeah.
So definitely reach out. If anything, reach out to us. I'm opening myself up if anybody is young or confused, and I'm sure Panda would for anybody.
Yeah,
You're not alone.
definitely. And as always, I will put all the information. Did you see me just like, I forgot, it's just too early here and the time
Oh, I'm so
changed, you
sorry.
know, and time isn't even real, but it just like the clock's set forward. But I forgot the incense was on. That's why I was just like, I was like, holy shit, I'm on fire. But no,
Oh yeah, that's it.
it's just the incense. But yes, you guys, I will put all of Storm's information down below so you can connect with her and the Oracle Witch Society, the online group as well. But yeah, so yeah, well, that was super, super cool. I just have a couple more questions before you go.
Yeah,
Do you follow any gods, goddesses, do deity work, like anything like that? Do you not?
Yeah, absolutely. I recognize myself as an Omnist witch. But I use the term Christo-pagan, which Christo-pagan is someone who who believes that their higher creator is one, but that the pagan gods, pagan deities also came down, are also here, and are on a higher level. So for example, because I choose God, I have to believe in angels, correct? Well, the pagan gods for me are the angels. They are the ones that were here on earth with the abilities, with the gifts, with their area of expertise to help us and to guide us and to bless us as humans. So I incorporate both into my life. So that is my path. Deity wise, I do tend to lean towards the goddesses. I like earth, like I was talking about earth wise, elemental. I love Demeter, who is of Greek mythology. I absolutely love Frigg, who is from Norse mythology. And if you know, they're both kind of the mothers for both of those, because that really resonates with me as a person, being that loving, caring person. And going back real fast to people with sunshine personalities or auras, I've always felt that way about you, Panda. Like no matter what day it is or whatever, or what's going on, like I instantly gravitated towards you and I was like, I don't want to lose that person. Like that's my friend. That's my friend.
Oh, thank you. That's like the highest compliment. Also, if you can hear that, I'm sorry. That's my 1-year-old. We're moving into the terrible twos, and he's not in pain.
That's my grandma coughing.
He's just nasty. So okay, well sometime, I don't know, we're almost up for time, but
Okay.
I'm so interested in the Christian pagan, like how that flows for people. I just have like so many questions. If you're ever interested in talking about that sometime,
Yeah, I'm
um,
totally, yeah.
but yeah, that's because I think that would help a lot of people. Yeah, and it's just
Mhm.
very interesting to me. Um, okay, so and then so daily magic, is there anything like any rituals that you do daily, anything that you just feel like even if it's mundane? Yeah, just tell me
Yeah,
about your
absolutely.
daily.
I think every day when you wake up, it's like if you know, if you're able to prepare for the next day, if you know what's about to happen for that day, I really like to put up every morning. I say my morning prayer, and as I'm doing that, I imagine my shield. I bring up my shield for the day, or before I leave the house, whichever one is about to be socially complicated or socially obligated to do something. You always put up that shield. It's important for me. So I say my morning prayer. I do my shield. I'm a huge fan. If you are just getting into divination, or if you are just trying to connect, pulling a daily card. I really like to just pull a daily card, especially if I'm trying to see like how this day is going to go or how this week is going. Sometimes it's not daily. Sometimes weekly is better.
Yeah.
You can overdo things. Please, people, you can overdo things. Um, but I'll do it daily if I have to, or weekly. And then honestly, centering your body. If you can get your mind to connect with your body, because sometimes our mind is racing so fast, like I got to do so many things. Like your mind is already 2 steps ahead of what your body's doing. You know, you're already thinking about being in the car, but you're not in the car yet. Try to put your mind and your body together. Try to connect them. Like, this is where I am right now in this present moment, so that I don't miss something small and make a huge mistake or something huge happen. Like, I'm very clumsy and I have a porch, and I can't tell you how many times I've fallen off and gotten dirt on my shirt. Like, that is ridiculous. So pay attention. Like, put your mind and your body together because it's important.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Okay, is there anything else that you want to share with people before we go?
Um, I mean, if anybody does have any questions, definitely drop in the comments. I will be stalking, so I will hop onto it myself. But I definitely going blank mind at the moment.
No,
Um,
it's
Other than I'm really thankful for doing this. I love that you're
yeah.
doing this, Panda, that you're showing so many different types of witches and people within their own practice. And everyone's going to get to see, like, maybe this person isn't like you, but that person is. And they're going to resonate with somebody. And I love that. I think that's beautiful because it's going to reach so many more people. And
Yeah,
I love that you're doing this.
I hope that all of that stuff that you just said. So I haven't started launching yet. I haven't launched
Mhm.
the first one. But because just filming these, I've done like 6 now or so.
Yeah.
Every single time I've learned something new. Every single time I've made a new connection, and I felt empowered and excited.
Yeah.
And I've learned something new for my practice and my craft. And
Mhm.
so I hope that it hits like that for other people. Again, I just think that it'll be witches that change the world, especially with this new influx of younger witches that
Yeah.
they're aware of themselves, they're empowered, they're aware of social issues and equality and racial issues, and I'm super excited. So I hope that this brings people lots of things, lots of different ways to be magic and to support their magic. And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for being here with us, Storm. I appreciate you. You guys, if again, always do your own research.
Mhm.
Whether you're into something or not into something, that's totally fine and completely valid. If you ever have any questions, if there's any certain kind of content or certain paths that you would like to see, definitely drop a comment. Let me know. I will do my best to get you as much information as possible. Yeah, I think that's all that we have. So again, we appreciate you. You guys definitely check out Storm and her group,
Yeah.
and we will see everyone back for another episode of Witch Hunt. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.